I am here at the DevLearn conference at the Aria Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're here with Dr. Risa Blair. A common theme at the convention is online learning, e-learning, and mobile learning. So Dr. Blair, tell us a little bit about what you find in industry and at the university level with respect to the growth of online learning.
It's incredible. Most universities, and certainly the for-profit universities, have to offer their courses now in the online arena. Additionally, I think students have expectations that a lot of the work is available via mobile.
What do you find are the characteristics of successful online learners?
Oh, wow. I'm so glad you asked that question. Truly, especially with my students, they need a schedule. They need to stick to the schedule. It's all about the time management. If they can handle that time factor, as you know, Mark, getting stuff done is half the battle, truly.
So that's a good point. A lot of students, I find, go into online environments with a little bit of the misconception that this is going to be much easier because I don't have to go to class. Could you speak to that a little bit more and how we can do a better job of educators to bring that to the forefront with students?
You are so right. And not only do students think, oh, this is going to be so much easier, I think on the professor's side, professors think, oh, this is going to be such a breeze. I don't have to go to the class, 3 hours a week, an hour or two of office hours. From the student perspective, students think, oh, I'll just log in and that'll be enough. Well, guess again. Most of the courses I teach, I've been teaching online since 1993 in a lot of learning management systems. Most of the courses I teach have discussion components. Some have wiki components and some social pieces. Others certainly have assignments and quizzes and all kinds of activities where the students need to go through, watch the lessons, interact in the lessons, submit the work on time at the end of the week, and it's a lot more time than they expect.
Perhaps another misconception about learning at a distance is that some students say, well, I need to be in a classroom because I need to be able to interact with people. How is that accomplished in an online environment?
Well, you ask a really good question there because a lot has to do with the professor facilitating the class. If the professor is active in the discussion and reads the postings, makes comments, asks additional questions, that really moves the discussion along and builds engagement and excitement about the material in the course for the students. Whereas if the instructor or professor takes a hands-off role in discussion and doesn't actively participate, the students, feel like, oh, they don't need to participate either. So it's really the idea of professors modeling for the students and the students picking up the ball and running with it.
Yeah, sort of the classic teaching model of model the behaviors that you want to see. So with the growth of the flipped classroom, online learning, what kind of, if you had to give a 10-second elevator pitch to students thinking about pursuing education online, what would be your message to them?
I would say the reason you want to pursue your degree is you want to achieve some kind of a goal. Have the goal in mind before you even begin, and then go after what it is you want to do online with a vengeance. Mm-hmm. So make sure the program fits you properly. They're not all one size fits all. Investigate the different programs, how they're delivered. Make sure you have adequate time, or you can make adequate time in your schedule, a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours at night, some time on the weekends. Set up the time in advance. Realize that you're going to need to devote time to the whole process of learning online. But again, it's about choosing the right program and understanding there's a big time commitment.
Mm-hmm. So it seems the recurring theme that keeps coming up here is time commitment. So is that kind of a seductive element for students where, because I don't have to go to class, I feel like I have all the time in the world and it's a lot easier. But from what you're saying here, the time element is that the student must be much more disciplined not to waste that time. The time is valuable in its flexibility, but not in its finite amount.
Exactly. I mean, most of the different programs where I teach have a beginning and an end each week where students need to do the work and submit it. It's not a free-for-all in the online classroom where the student just kind of logs in every once in a while and submits a big project at the end. The classes are much more chunked up. It's not, the online model does not align with a standard face-to-face college model where you have the midterm, the paper, and the final exam. No. It's very different. The learning is much more scaffolded.
Mm-hmm. So let's take out our crystal ball for a moment here and think about, because there is so much press out there that online learning is the future of education. I kind of think that it's not the future, it's here today. But where do you think we are today, and where do you think we might be in 3 or 5 years at any level of education, anywhere from elementary, secondary, right through higher education?
Well, I think we're starting to see more virtual high schools. As you know, Florida has a huge one, but many more virtual high schools appear, especially for students who may have some differing kinds of needs in terms of education. At the college level, probably a lot more of the same, more stable systems, more engagement, higher expectations by millennials entering the classroom. Those would be my top three.
Higher expectations in terms of the rigor or the course experience, or what type of expectations?
Higher expectations in terms of not the rigor, but the student experience, the engagement, edutainment is really going to be even at a higher level, I believe.
So it's no longer, as they say, the sage on the stage, just imparting information to students. The students require an interactive engagement and dialogue with the instructor and other students.
Yes, I would say much more social, that social is going to be a much bigger piece of all the classes. And the dreaded group assignments that we all faced early on in the LMSs, those dreaded group assignments will not exist in the same way, but we'll find many more kinds of activities that will be social.